Guys, it's the Peaky Pundit here outside Old Trafford for Full-Time Devils. I'm sure you would have seen on Twitter about the Glazers out. I'm here to catch up with a couple of the fans to get their views on it. For the Glazers out, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I don't want them here. It's that simple, you know what I mean? They've took all this money out of the club, and what we've paid in interest, City have bought them players, you know, you look at the ground, it's looking old and tired, you know, but they've backed the managers.
Yeah.
None of the managers can say they've not backed us with the money, you know, we've bought some bad buys and it's not worked out. I don't want them here. Would a protest work? No. Yeah. You know, I remember the big protest here years ago, you know, and I always remember one thing about it. I remember going, it might not have been that game, but it was a game had gone to Old Trafford. A bloke comes down to me at half time, he's got green and gold scarf on the top, the tracky bottoms, the trainers, the socks. I want to spend 10 quid at the kiosk. You know, that's what's going to hurt him by not buying the merchandise. Obviously, I don't agree with all this walking out. You know, we're here for the team. You know what I mean?
This is the kind of issue I've got as business owners. Look, they've obviously invested into the football club. For them, it's working. This is from their point of view, it's working. They're taking money out of it from a business, and you know, whatever their goal was for it, it's working for them. So in their position, what they set out to do, they're doing. Obviously, as fans, it's hurting us because of it's having an impact, we believe, on the players and on the pitch and everything around the club. But as you said, if 20,000 of us didn't renew our season ticket, surely another 20,000 will come in and just...
Of course, yeah. If I don't get mine the other week, then you're going to go and buy it. Yeah. You know, so that's not going to work. Hit them on a match day. Don't buy a programme. Don't buy a pie. Don't buy a pint. Don't go into Megastore and buy your kids' kits. You know, and that'll hit them in that way. Obviously, don't be saying, oh, let's walk out on so many minutes, turn your back. We're here to get behind the team, you know, hit them in other ways. But like you're saying, it's their business, and it's the only business that they've got what's making money. Yeah. So they're not going to sell until the price is right. One day, hopefully, that will come. Yeah. If it's tomorrow, it's tomorrow. If it's next month, it's next month. But get the right owners in, and we'll be back where we belong. Obviously,
with the protests we saw back in, I think, 2005, wasn't it, when we had the big sort of protests and stuff, and, you know, there was a point where it very nearly thought that, you know, the Glazers were going to sell up and whatever else and you know, find new owners. Do you think these kind of campaigns and things are going to have an impact on them, and do you think it doesn't really bother them knowing, look, as a business and what it's doing for them, they're still pulling out their equity, they're still paying themselves their dividends out of it, and it's not really affecting them in that sense?
Yeah, but is the money going to start drying up now because they're not successful on the pitch? They've not. I think the stadium needs a lick of paint. That's all. But if you're not got a successful team, and it's going to pay. It's going to hit your bank balance.
You know, with that, because people often say to me, yeah, but Manchester United is a beast, you know, as a brand and whatever else worldwide, globally. It will never get to a stage where fans stop buying merchandise or they stop selling out the season tickets or tickets in the stadium on match days. But do you think now we're at a point where fans are going to start looking at it, and we are going to see numbers falling away as well, where new generations of kids come through and don't want to follow United, they want to go and follow other clubs that are doing well?
I come from a tradition where it was passed to me down from my dad.
Yeah.
And there's not many like that left. But this club, it's an emotional connection. And now with the superpowers, you're throwing money across town, Liverpool and all that, Real Madrid throwing money. Young kids will want to support the team that's winning and being trendy. And we're not on a level to compete. But business-wise, the model's fantastic. But the fans don't want to care about noodle deals, wine deals, players lying on the bed, the official bed of Manchester United. I've seen an email, you know what I mean? I want to see my team successful on the pitch. If United want to drain me bank balance or any other's bank's balance, just have a successful team. That's all we want. I'll happily pay money to see a successful team.
And I think is that half the problem as fans, like you said, it's like kind of emotional blackmail. I've heard you say it before because of, you know, we love this football club. It's in our blood. We've supported them through thick and thin. And is that half the battle? It's hard for us to let go and say, well, actually, we don't want to come to games or whatever in protest because of it's our love for the football club.
Next to my family, this place is the most important thing in my life. Like I say, the powers that be upstairs, play on that. Stab you in the heart, take your money, and they'll do it and stab you and stab you and stab you until you can't come anymore because you can't afford to go. Now, to be fair, the season tickets have remained frozen for the last nearly 10 years. Yeah. But there will come a tipping point. What do the Glazers do? Do they sell their name rights to the stadium? They haven't done that yet, but that's an idea for the future. And I hope they don't do that, but it's emotional.
If it gets to that point where Old Trafford is renamed after a brand or whatever it is, you know, how would you sit with that, and how is that going to, emotionally, is it going to affect you?
Well, it would affect me emotionally. The people go on about new stadiums, Tottenham's new stadium, Anfield has been redeveloped. this place needs maybe something on the south stand. It needs a better atmosphere. But this place is traditional, it's home, it's spiritual, and I will never want to leave here.
Are we really telling the Glazers anything new? Is it a big surprise?
Do they care? Do they care?
No, they don't care, because we're outside the megastore. I've been stood here all day and you can see people going in and out and spending money in the shirts. Old Trafford could be empty, game in, game out next season. Yeah. But abroad in Asia and stuff, the TV market, you know, and the mattress deals, pot noodles, that's where they're making their money from. Now, unless they start losing sponsors, the process is just, it's great, and it's nice to see camaraderie between fans and stuff. But we did this back in 2005, and I've got friends that threw their season tickets in the bin and have never come back to Old Trafford. Now, you're not going to see that, because, you know, the season ticket just keeps getting swallowed up.
I was just going to say, because again, I think this season, or for the coming season, season tickets sold out in record time again. And is that half the battle, that if 20,000 fans don't renew their season tickets, you've got another 20,000 who will quite happily, you know, snap them up anyway?
Yeah, and I mean, and that's exactly the same reason. That's the reason why the Glazers are still here, because they know fine well it's a commodity that they can keep on rinsing, really.
And obviously, as business owners, look, they've come in, and that is their goal. It's a business for them. It's got to make money for them, and that's what it's doing. So, as much as we want them out as fans, can we really blame them if, you know, they're making money from it? You know, what is it worth for them?
Can I blame them? Yeah, I can blame them. They basically turned what was the greatest club in the world into a circus. I don't care about the business side of it. And if you look at there are clubs like Tottenham Hotspur that are run like a business, and look how they've progressed in the last 5 years, and we just become an absolute commoner.
Is that quite one of the most concerning things for you as a fan? For me, it is as well. In terms of we've got another couple of seasons that if we fall well behind the front two now in City and Liverpool, and we see big players go, and we have an awful, you know, end to the next season. Are we kind of at the beginning of the end for you know, for a long time in the books of Manchester United? I've
had this conversation myself, and I'm trying to be optimistic about it, but you say behind the front two, we're behind the top four, to be honest, and we just seem to be slipping. We've signed Wan-Bissaka. That took how long to get over the line? It's been going on for like maybe 2 months. Yeah. Are we going to bring any more players in? More players maybe leaving than coming into the club. It's going to be, I think we're about 5 years away from winning the league, and that depends if Solskjaer hits the ground running next season. Guys, I've been the Peaky Pundit with Full-Time Devils. Thanks for tuning in. I'm going to be bringing you guys some matchday vlogs when the new season starts out, so keep a lookout for them. Don't forget to hit the subscribe and the notifications button if you haven't already. Thanks for tuning in.